And I'm just going to take the mask off this image, just delete and discard it. I'm going to just going to crop this image a wee bit straighter. Okay. All right, so let's start with this. So if I go Command T with this image, and up the top here, if I put in 60, and I move this image so that it's only been we'll try it with this. You only want it to hit two sides. So that side there and this side, so not coming down onto the bottom. So I'll do it very simply with this, and then we'll go through and we'll build it up and make it a bit more complicated. Sorry. Oh, okay. Need to start that one again. I bumped the wrong key, so 60. Move it out to those two. And I hit return. Now what I do is if I get the, this, just to make sure, because this edge might be a little bit soft and we need it to be hard, I'll get the magic wand tool. I'm going to click out here on the background, and then I'll go Command Shift I, which is inverse, so now it's got this selected. I'll go Select, Modify, Contract, and just by 1 pixel. So it's sucking it in by 1 pixel to get rid of any funny edges. Now, while I've still got that selected, I'll go Edit. I'm looking for, oh, it's under Image, sorry, Crop. So it's going to crop down to that image. Now what I'm going to do is I'll click on the crop tool in the toolbar, and I'm just going to make this a bit bigger. Let's pull those sides out. So this is a bit more of the kind of hexagonal kaleidoscopic image. So with this one here, drag it down. So we've duplicated it. And now if I go Command T, the simple process with this, as you can see, I want to flip it around on that central point, so it's moved here by clicking on this little icon, and the width of it, if I put it in as -100, it flips it. So it's the same as, you know, here's it. Whoops. There we go. Just dragging it across. So what I do now is Command E. I've joined those two together. Duplicate them. I get the top one, Command T. And this time, I click on the bottom. So you can see it's right down on this bottom point by clicking on that square. Now, this one, I change the angle. So I put in 60. We've got that. And I can actually Command Option Shift T. Keep going around until it fills that up and fills it as a is a kaleidoscope. All of these things here now, I can just merge visible, and I can drag that down, make a new layer, Command T. I'm just going to go Command minus so I can see that whole page. Option, Shift scale it up, and put an angle 45. See how that looks, and check it behind. Maybe 45 wasn't quite the look we're after. Okay, so we have that one. Now let's see if we can do something else. I'm going to go open. Let's go. Right, let's try this one. So I've got this. This time what I want to do is I want to try and keep the transparency, but it becomes a lot more difficult to know exactly where to cut it. So what I would do is I would make a new layer, and so if I get the rectangular tool, with that I can go Command T, and I can angle this to, whoops, minus 30, sorry, to get the same kind of angle as we had before. So I'm cutting through the bottom part of these peanut slabs, but keeping all that transparency. So I've got that path. If I go to my paths, I can now make that a selection. Now, once I come back to the layers, and I'm working at the moment just with this top layer, I can Shift, add in the rest of that, so it's got all of this selected. And if I go Command Shift I, so I've got the inverse, it's got that area selected. And last time what we did is we just went image, crop. So we're getting the same thing as before. Now, as soon as I get rid of that selection, I'm a little bit lost with the sizing. So what I'm going to do is, while I've got it selected, I go Option, Delete, which is just filling with the foreground color. I've still got the selection, so I'm going to go on the mask here, and I want to block out this bit. So I'll go Command Shift I, so it's got this selection, Command Delete, which fills it with a background color on the mask, and it gets rid of it. So a little bit trickier, but we end up back in the same place that we were in before. Now with these two, I'm going to go make them a group. So they're both inside there. And we have to basically make the whole image a bit bigger like we did before. It doesn't have to be that much bigger at the top. All right, great. And now with our layers, we've got this group here. I can duplicate that group. I can go Command T, and I'm back to the same thing. It's like, okay, I'm going to flip it there, I'm going to make it -100. And there we go, we've got those. With this one, I have to do the groups because I've still got that, that white background in there. And later on, I'm going to get rid of that. So with those two groups selected, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to duplicate them. They're still there together, selected together. So if I go Command T, I can move that point. So it's back down here. And I can go back to this thing of saying, okay, 60. And it lines up there. Now, if I hit OK with that, I can come back to these first two, because this is the center group. Duplicate them. And this time, when I go Command T, I drop it to the bottom central point again. And this time it's going to be -60. Okay, so I've got all of that. Now this one gets a little bit trickier. If we select all of those and we duplicate them and we go Command T, this time that central point, probably want to try and get on that line. And now I go Edit, Transform, Flip Vertically, and it looks pretty good. There's no adjustments to be made. Now, of course, we've used this white in the background to line everything up. So the unfortunate thing here is manually just have to come through and delete these white boxes to get rid of them. 3, or as many as you can see on the screen to get rid of. Right, 3 more. And then we've got the lucky last. With all of these now, I can just grab all of those groups. And if I want to join them together, I can just go Merge Visible. And it brings it back to one layer. Now with this, cut it. Paste it. Obviously it's pretty big. So I can scale it down. And if I want to know that it's in the center, you do have these options where you can click on it. I have to Command A, select all, and then just make sure it's centered. And I can do the same with these as well. Select all, center, center. Oh, there we go. It was a little bit out. This one, center, center. Okay, so that's a little bit more of a typical kind of hexagonal kaleidoscope.